You state your name, please.
Ramika Williams.
Okay. And you heard me recite to the court the agreements between you and Mr. Robinson Jackson. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And those are your agreements, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you believe that those terms of the order would be in the best interest of your children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're asking the court to approve those terms of the order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would like to pass the witness and call Mr. Robinson Jackson. Sir, state your name, please.
My name is James Jackson.
Okay. So you don't go by Robinson Jackson, sir? Do you go?
I don't know whichever one y'all got up in the system.
Okay. Thank you. And you heard me recite to the court the agreements between you and Miss Williams. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are those your agreements?
I don't know. I need to talk to somebody furthermore. But I don't want to be a disruption. Like you said, I was being disruption. I don't want to be a disruption. I need to talk to somebody furthermore.
Okay. So you don't agree that you should have the standard possession and access order?
Yes, I do. But I have a lot of agreements too.
Okay, what we're doing right now, sir, is just discussing, just reciting to the court what you and Ms. Williams agreed to. We're going to have a hearing on all the other issues, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
All right. And sir, do you agree to the exchange at the Mesquite Police Department?
We can meet anywhere, but yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you also agree that Ms. Williams should be ordered to apply for the government medical plan. Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't trust him, man. I think I should do it. I don't trust him at all.
My kids are already on medication.
Okay, so wait one second.
I don't need to be
wait, guys.
No, I know what's up with me, boy.
1 second. No one's to talk over the other party, and he's the witness. So, ma'am, do not interrupt his testimony. Excuse me? Okay, so when I can interrupt anyone, because it's my courtroom. So I don't want the mother to interrupt your testimony while you are testifying. Okay? You may proceed.
Okay. So, sir, you agree that Ms. Williams will enroll the children in the government medical plan. Is that correct?
No, I don't think she should be doing anything with my children, man.
All right. Okay, pass the witness, Your Honor, if I can just proceed with the trial in this case?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to recall Ms. Williams. So Ms. Williams, has there been any incidents of family violence in the past 2 years between you and Ms. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and 1 second, Ms. Hood. Ms. Williams, are you the only one with the children right now?
It's done with me, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're not able to go into a quiet area for this hearing?
I could ask somebody to sit in the room with them, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna need you in a quiet area so I can hear your testimony.
I think she froze, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She froze. Okay.
Okay, I wouldn't put it differently.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Hood.
All right. So when was the last incident of family violence?
Recently in February on Valentine's Day, he came up to my job and made a big scene and had to get arrested.
So he was arrested. Okay. Was there a physical violence?
He physically hit one of my coworkers, but he didn't hit me because I wouldn't come from the back.
And was there a restraining order put in place?
Yes, ma'am, a protection order for me and my children and my family members that live with me.
Is it still in place?
It might be, but I think it's supposed to end sometime in May. I'm supposed to go up there and redo it.
Okay. Now, does Mr. Jackson know where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's back up. Was he arrested?
Yes, ma'am.
And why did he hit the coworker?
I didn't hit nobody. I didn't hit nobody, Judge.
Mr. Jackson, I'm gonna put you on mute. I'm asking her questions. We're gonna ask you the same questions. You're gonna be able to tell me your side of it. She said that's what happened. I have follow-up questions. Questions will be asked of you. Miss Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
Why was the coworker hit? That's what you're saying.
They tried to get him to exit the building. Like, they tried to get him to leave. I guess he came in saying harsh things, and my boss tried to get him to leave, and it made a big scene.
Okay. Were there any other incidents of family violence between you and him?
Since then, I have been in no contact with him
No,
besides that one
not
time.
since then. Before February the 14th.
Before then, it's always just minor threats, things that he say, stuff that he say he gonna do, but he never has contact with me, ma'am. No.
Has he ever threatened to hurt you or the children?
Me all the time, never my children.
Okay. Have you ever threatened to hurt him?
Physically, I
Okay,
don't
Mr.
really
Jackson,
know.
stop. I'm going to ask you the same questions. Stop and calm down. Have you ever threatened to harm him?
No, I've never physically
I
told him I
didn't
was
ask you
gonna fist him.
physically. You got to listen to the questions, guys.
No,
Don't
I said
each other. You got to listen. A threat and physical, two different things. I asked you, have you ever threatened to harm him?
no, ma'am. I was saying I never threatened to physically harm him.
Okay. Threaten him at all. Any threat.
Yes, probably saying stuff back. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. Has he ever been granted any restraining orders or protective orders against you?
Okay. Can you off the Wi-Fi? It's saying internet connection.
Your Honor, I think they both have people in the rooms with them.
They do. And you both are grown adults and you don't need anyone to give you any testimony. You were there. They weren't. Has he been granted any restraining orders or protective orders against you for him being the victim of any family violence from you, Ms. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever been arrested regarding any domestic violence towards him?
No, ma'am.
Okay. How old are the 4 children?
My youngest 2 will be 7 months on the 28th, and
Okay,
my
so
oldest.
that means I just need to know their age right now, not what they're going to be. What are they?
7 months, and then the other ones are 1.
The other one, they're triplets?
The older ones, there is 2 sets of twins. The older ones are 1, and the younger ones are 7 months.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
1-year-old twins and 7-month-old twins. Okay. All right. Now, Ms. Hood, you may proceed.
Okay. Ms. Williams, do you have concerns about
And Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry. You need to stay your face in the screen. Go ahead, Ms. Hood.
Okay. Ms. Williams, does Mr. Jackson know where you live now?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you plan on moving?
Yes, ma'am.
If you move, would you have concerns about Mr. Jackson knowing where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
And so because of your, based off of the prior history of family violence, are you asking the court to grant you a finding of non-disclosure today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you, let's see here, are you asking the court to name you as the primary conservator who gets to determine the primary residence of the children in Dallas or contiguous counties?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you and Mr. Jackson ever lived together with the children? Together?
No, ma'am.
Okay, never. Okay. Now, do you know if Mr. Jackson has other children?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Okay. Let me see here. Do you have any information as to Mr. Jackson's income?
I don't know anything about him, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I think that's it. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Ms. Williams, I'm going to put you on mute. And Mr. Jackson, I ask that you unmute for your testimony. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Hood.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, you heard Ms. Williams' testimony regarding the incidents of family violence. Do you disagree?
I disagree 100%.
Do you recall the incident where she's alleging you went up to her place of employment and you hit one of her coworkers?
Judge Evans, Ms. Hood, I didn't hit anybody. She's a woman. She can pick up the phone and call and say whatever she want to say. It's going to be heard. I didn't touch anybody. Nobody, man. It was Valentine's Day. I was getting my kids something to eat, and I had them on Valentine's bag just full of stuff. I didn't know that she worked there. I have never seen her with a job. I ain't know that she worked at Whataburger. I didn't hit nobody. I'm not a violent person, nothing. She makes threats, and she don't want nobody to say nothing back.
So hold up, Mr. Jackson. So because that was what was going to be my question. What was this place of employment? So it was Whataburger. So what you're saying is you were just gone to Whataburger to get yourself something. You weren't going to come to her job for her. Is that what you're saying?
Judge Evans, I don't speak to this woman. I don't talk to this woman.
Wait. Just listen to what I'm asking. You're saying I was just a customer. It's just coincidence that she worked there. You didn't know that she worked there.
I swear to God on my life, I would give my kids something to eat.
So question, although you didn't know she worked there, did you and mom have words while you were there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so did someone from her job intervene because y'all were having words?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was the police called that day, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you arrested?
Yes, ma'am.
What did the police officer arrest you for?
Because he picked up the phone and called them. Nothing.
I mean, did they say because you assaulted someone, you were trespassing? What was the reason they said they were arresting you for?
Terroristic threat. And both sides were making threats.
That's what they said you were doing. Okay. All right. Now, are you aware that she was granted a temporary protective order or restraining order? She was?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I have a question. Has she ever been arrested for any family violence towards you?
She has like muffed me in my face one time, but there's no point of us calling the police because I'm a man. They're not gonna believe her. Oh, she's a man. So I wasn't tripping on that, but she has muffed me in my face.
Two different questions. My very first question was, just because someone's not arrested doesn't mean something didn't happen. My question to you first was, has she ever been arrested for any family violence towards you? That would be no.
I don't know her.
Okay. So then next, you're saying she has scratched you before in your face, correct? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, but I let it slide, but I don't let her, so I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't let stuff like that slide. I let her slide.
And you don't have any protective orders or restraining orders against her?
No, man, I don't. I'm good everywhere I go, Judge Evans.
Mr. Jackson, I have to ask certain things, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So next questions will be coming from Ms. Hood. Go ahead, Ms. Hood.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, you disagree with Ms. Williams being named as the primary conservator who gets to determine where the children live in Dallas or contiguous counties? Do you disagree?
100%.
Why do you disagree with that?
Because I lived with them. She told a lot. I was living with them out there and they're living in somewhere far. Allen, Texas. They are disgusting. That house is disgusting. I swear to God. Every morning I was getting up, cleaning up for my babies.
Well, Mr. Jackson, listen to her question, but I got something to ask you since it was so disgusting. Did you ever report her to CPS?
I was told to, Judge Evans, but I want my kids to get involved with that.
Okay, so have they always lived with mama? Other than when you lived there, have they always lived with their mom, even though someone else might be living there? Have they always lived with mom?
Sadly, yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Hood, next question.
Thank you. And sir, are you're working right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
I work at Chicken Express, and I have a job interview in the morning.
Okay, where is that job interviews?
That's at Jason's Deli Distribution Center.
And just backing up, so Chicken Express, do you get paid by the hour? How much do you make per hour, sir?
Right now I'm making $10 an hour.
How many hours do you work on average each week?
Like I told you earlier, 25 a week.
Do you ever get more than 25 hours a week?
No, but starting this week, I will be asking for more. Okay.
And Jason's Deli, you just have an interview. You don't have a job offer yet. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure I got the job, Ms. Hood. You know, I'm a hardworking young man.
But right now, the only income you have is the $10 an hour, 20 hours, 25 hours a week.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any other children, biological children, or adopted children under the age of 18?
I have a child on the way.
Okay. All right, sir. And earlier I asked you about the government medical. Do you have access to private health insurance or dental insurance for your 4 children?
My job stated me that I will have access to all that. So when I get, as of now, no, ma'am. But in the future, yes.
Okay. And you understand that the state is asking the court to order Miss Williams to enroll the children in the government medical plan, correct?
I really don't understand about all that stuff. I really don't know. So,
Okay, so Mr. Jackson, if mommy doesn't have health insurance through an employer and daddy doesn't have health insurance through an employer, the only option is state health insurance, which is Medicaid or CHIPS, because the children have to be covered for vaccinations or when they get sick and so forth. So the state is saying you don't have it available, mama doesn't have it available. So the state is saying we need to have the kids on Medicaid. That's what she's saying. And it's not free. And she's going to ask for a certain amount that would stay with the state from you for the children's health and dental insurance. Okay. All right, Ms. Hood, you may proceed with your next question.
Thank you. All right, sir. The state is, you understand that the state is asking that you pay to reimburse for the government medical plan. You understand that, correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry. Judge, I lost my calculation. Sorry. And the state is asking that you be ordered to reimburse the state at a cost of $98 per month, cash medical support beginning June 1st, 2023. Do you agree with that calculation?
So, like, who am I paying that to, Ms. Hood? Am I paying to, like, who am I paying the money to?
You will be ordered to, if the court orders you to pay child support and cash medical support, you will be ordered to pay that to Ms. Williams, but the $98 is to reimburse the state for the government medical, since neither one of you has private health insurance available.
So the state would keep it.
Yes.
It goes through San Antonio. The state would keep the $98 for the 4 kids' health and dental insurance, sir.
And if my job, which they have already told me,
if you can beat $98, then you can enroll them. Yes. Okay. And then you would keep the $98. That's going to be a very good job, though, if you could beat $98 for 4 babies for health and dental. But I don't know. You might can. Most people can't. But maybe your employer will have great health benefits. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Hood.
Thank you. And you understand the state is also asking that the court order that you and Ms. Williams split equally, 50-50, any out-of-pocket expenses not covered by the government medical. Okay. And
so wait, so my court reporter can't take a thumbs up. She's going to need you to.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All
yes,
right.
Ma'am.
Sorry, Judge. I didn't even think about that. My apologies.
All right.
And based off of your income, sir, the state has calculated that your child support amount would be $266 per month beginning June 1st, 2023. Do you agree to pay $266 a month child support?
Judge Evans, Ms. Hood, I don't. But I know it's going to happen anyway. So basically, I'm paying to see my children. You asked me the time I've seen my children this month?
No, you're not paying to see them. I'm going to explain about visitation and child support do not go hand in hand. You're not paying to see your children. So I'll explain that at the end. But the $266 is for the financial support where lights, water, rent, diapers, daycare, whatever is needed for that month, which is usually the same monthly expenses every month. So I'll explain about child support and visitation momentarily. Her question to you right now, sir, is, do you agree that you should pay, based on your income, $266 per month for your 4 kids?
No, ma'am. But I'm going to say yes.
Why not? That's the next question. So why don't you agree?
Judge Evans, I'm a hard work. I can take care of my children, but I'm the mother. These are my kids. and she's already told me she gonna be taking care of another nigga with my kids.
Okay, now don't use derogatory terms. She says she's gonna take care of another person with
yes. These are all the threats. Yeah, this is planned and set up. My only mistake, Judge Evans, was not listening to my mama saying, put yourself on child support. I don't want my kids in that system. I don't want none of that. Man, I could have gave you that money a month. You don't have to do this. She's only doing this because, like she said, she's going to be taking care of another man with my money. And I'm very upset, Judge Evans. I'm not upset with you, Judge Evans. I'm just upset that I made the mistake of not putting myself on child support. This year alone, I've only seen my kids twice.
Okay.
Twice.
This year. I'm going to address all that. Okay, so he disagrees with that, Ms. Hood. You may proceed, Ms. Hood.
Thank you.
And Ms. Williams, keep your face in the screen. Go ahead, Ms. Hood.
Okay, sir, do you have concerns about Ms. Jackson knowing your address?
Who?
I'm sorry, Ms. Williams, sorry. Do you have concerns about her knowing your address?
Oh, no.
And you did hear her request for non-disclosure.
Daddy good. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're fine with that. Okay.
Oh, yeah, daddy good.
I'm sorry.
Daddy is good.
Okay. I thought he said that is good. Okay. You heard Miss Williams' testimony. She's asking that her address, her contact information not be in this court order. Are you okay with that?
I am fine with it.
Okay. And sir, the state is also asking that you be ordered to pay court costs in this matter.
What's that?
To reimburse the state for filing this case.
I'll explain that too.
Okay, thank you. All right, pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm gonna put Mr. Jackson on mute. Ms. Williams, go ahead and unmute yourself. I got one question for you. Mute yourself, Ms. Jackson. Have you ever scratched Mr. Jackson in his, unmute yourself, Ms. Williams. Have you ever scratched Mr. Jackson?
Have I ever scratched Mr. Jackson?
In his face?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever put your hands on him first?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I need Mr. Jackson, stop, and I need both of you to listen to me. Both of you are very young and emotional. Both of you have two sets of twins, which is a lot for anyone, especially two young people. You both need to press the reset button and calm down. That's not going to be good for the children. I'm going to explain a couple of things and then I'm going to make a ruling. Child support and visitation do not go hand in hand. So this order is going to set the new parameters of how this is supposed to go. Even if he does not pay his child support, he has the legal right to see his child. Ms. Williams, if you keep his children away from him, then he can hire his own attorney and file a motion for enforcement. And there's consequences to that regarding visitation. Okay. If he fails to pay child support and medical support, you could hire your own attorney and file something as well. There's consequences if he fails to pay child support and medical support. So they do not go hand in hand, although everything will be in the order. Now, Ms. Williams, I want to see your face when I'm talking to you. So put your face in the screen. Okay. What the court is going to find is mutual, and Mr. Jackson too. I'm having to repeat myself too much. So if I'm repeating myself, I know you guys are having issues with each other because both of you are grown adults and you should be paying attention to what I'm saying. Nothing else is more important than what I'm saying right now about your 4 children. I'm going to find mutual family violence, mutual non-disclosure. I'm also, because of that, it cannot be joint managing conservatorship. It has to be sole managing conservatorship because of the family violence. He will have standard visitation with the exchange location as the police department, which will be in the order. I'm going to order that you continue the children on government health insurance and that Mr. Jackson reimburse the government $98 a month beginning June 1. That $98 would stay with the state for reimbursement. I'm going to order child support of $266 beginning June 1. No retroactive child support, court costs assessed to Mr. Jackson. Now, state of Texas does not audit or regulate how child support is spent. Sometimes people do say things that are very ugly. Everyone has been to the grocery store recently, knows how much clothes cost, lights, rent. There's no possible way that $266 will cover 4 children. I doubt seriously there'll be 1 nickel left to spend on anyone else other than her children. So sometimes people say things to get other people's goat and to get them all upset. I can't see where there'll be 1 extra dime out of $266 to take care of 4 children. There couldn't be a dime left to spend on another man, woman, or dog. She's going to need all the $266 for those 4 children. Now, that is the court's ruling, and you both will receive a copy of the order. Calm down. Make sure you're focusing on the children for the best interest of the kids. If either one of you disagree with my ruling, you can appeal my decision. You would have to file it yourself or hire your own private attorney. The AG's office only represents the state of Texas and would not assist either of you with an appeal. You both are free to go and have a good day. You can disconnect from the Zoom.
Judge, if you have a question.
No questions for me. You can have a question for the Attorney General's office. I get to ask all the questions. You got something for Ms. Hood?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Ms. Hood.
Yes.
Do I still get to see my children though?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
I ordered that. Overnight visits. All of that will be in the order. Okay? And you will receive a copy of it in your email today.
So what's the overnight?
Overnight is every other weekend, 1st, 3rd, and 5th weekends. Friday at 6, you're going to go to the police department and pick them up. You'll have them to Sunday at 6. You're going to return them then. You're going to have time for summer vacation, spring vacation, rotating holidays, time with them for Father's Day. All of that is in the order.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. And make sure now, everybody needs to calm down. You will be exchanging them on the parking lot of a police station with cameras and everything else for a reason. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone be right in order. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have a good day. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bye-bye.
It's Judge Dawson back with another legal update. Let's talk marijuana. This is real quick. This is real simple. In Ohio, you are not allowed to smoke marijuana. You can have it medically, and that medical marijuana does not include rolling up a joint and driving in your car. So if you are pulled over by a police officer and he or she smells marijuana, that is probable cause, because regardless of whether you have a license to smoke or the doctor's excuse to smoke, look, that doesn't mean actual smoking.